Welcome to the Besties in the Books podcast, guys. This is Liz.
And I'm Ashley. And today we are finally going to be talking all about Book 3 of ACOTAR, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin by our Miss Queen, Sarah J. Maas, mother of Romantasy, if you will.
Yep. Yes, we're finally here. It finally happened. It seems like it's been a journey. Well, what's funny about it is that it's like, you know, because we've been doing our Harry Potter reads, I haven't had as much time to read other things. But then, of course, I flew through this book like ridiculously quickly because it's so good.
It's so good.
Yes. So before we get into like anything about specifically, obviously about ACOWAR, which we will call it now from this moment forward.
From henceforth.
From henceforth. We just wanted to let you guys know that we're doing our deep dive episodes a little bit differently now. So when we do a single book, like A Court of Wings and Ruin, and we dive into, you know, the plot, what we're actually going to start doing is more of our reaction type videos, kind of almost like our mini-sodes. So we're going to test it out, see what you guys think, and basically kind of let you guys know, like, what are some of the tropes we liked? What are some of the tropes we didn't like? Our favorite character, least favorite character, maybe a favorite quote, and just kind of go through like some of those types of things instead of breaking the plot down step by step. Because like if you're here and you're listening past the spoiler-free section, then that probably means that you've read it and you know what happened.
Yeah.
So let's just like chit chat about it.
And like kind of pick up some of the plot points we want to dive more deeply into instead of all of it line by line. And there are some really good channels out there who have like taken the time to annotate every little piece and broken it down in a 2-hour watch video. And some of them I was watching to help refresh my memory because Liz reread this, but I read it for the first time. And now it's been over a year, but I wasn't quite ready to reread it. So I'll link those channels down below. Definitely check them out if you are specifically looking for a full annotated review of the book. But we're going to kind of digesting it down. Or the Reader Digest version, if you will.
The Reader's Digest version. Yeah.
Remember
I love that.
I remember always seeing those in old people's bathrooms. You know,
yeah,
they
like
weren't
at the
old
dentist.
people. They were our age, you know. At the time, they were old people when we were kids. But I would see like Reader's Digest in the random corners. Same with like Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul, those things.
Yes.
Those were the bathroom reads for sure.
So, and as usual, guys, the first 15 minutes or so are going to be spoiler free. So if you have not read this book and you want to find out what our star rating was, what our spice rating is, and who we would recommend it to, or if we would recommend it, that's all going to happen in the very beginning. Spoiler free. We'll give you guys the warning. Ashley will make a noise to let you guys know it's time to exit, and then we'll move into the spoiler section. So don't be scared if you want to listen to a little bit of what we have to say, just to find out if maybe this might be a book that you'd be interested in. Yes. However, it is book 3. So if you're here, it's probably because you're continuing to read.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, would you really make it to book 3? Although I will say, without any, like, giving anything away, when I did look up some reviews for this, there were people who have read book 1 and book 2 and, like, despised book 3. And I was like, that's an interesting take, like, that you've made it to book 3 and now you don't like it. I'm like,
yeah. Wow.
Okay, so anyways, we'll get more into that later. But before we get into that, we just wanted to say thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much, you guys, for taking time out of your day and your book to sit and hang out with us, chat with us, or maybe walk with us in your ear. I don't know what you do. I don't, tell you what to do. But thank you for listening to us. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, including YouTube. We are visually there on YouTube. Liz and I are visually videoing it. I feel like we got a good thing going on. It looks, we fooled some people, which made me really happy that like they didn't even know we were virtual. That's how, because I'm all about like, cohesiveness, color story, color scheme. I like made Liz buy the exact same stuff I have. So everything looks very good in my opinion. So come check us out over on YouTube if you haven't yet. I appreciate that. Subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And we thank you. Follow us on Instagram too if you want to get some more extended content. Always Besties in the Books podcast. Everywhere. All the time.
Everywhere. So let's kick it off with our faves.
Everywhere. Sorry. Listen,
Great. I'm going to have that stuck in my head now for literally probably the next 3 days.
Everybody's yelling. Dude, I haven't even thought about that song in like 10 years. And it just, when somebody says a word and it just, song.
That's Michelle Branch, right?
Wasn't she at when we were?
Yeah, she went. So we've gone full circle.
What? You don't even go to the school.
You don't even go to the school. For anyone who doesn't know, she was at the When We Were Young Fest that Ashley and I went to last year, which we're getting ready to go to again in like less than a month. So exciting. Michelle Branch, as far as I know, isn't going to be there again. She was there last year. It was weird. No one really understood why she was there, but that's a great song.
Good for her.
Good for
I
her.
guess.
Yeah.
Or not. Bad on her agent. I don't know. It just... Somebody tried to like explain it and it didn't understand. Like
people were
good
into
for
it.
The nostalgia. It just didn't match like anybody else who was there.
No,
it's like Warped
absolutely
Tour 2.0. Maybe she was on the original Warped Tour stuff.
Maybe. I mean, Katy Perry was, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Okay. Anyways, we are getting off topic. Not that there's a
side
topic
tangent. Start part 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So faves and fails of this week.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Dude, just whatever feels right, man.
Okay. All right. Why don't you go first?
All right. Fave and fail of the week. My fail is that I've been struggling. I've been sick for the like 3rd or 4th time in a little over a month. It's pissing me off. Listen, I'm pretty good now. I say I'm 90%, but I might sound a little different today, but we're doing it. We're doing the thing. It's good. It kicked my butt for a while, but we're here. So that's my fail, is that I just can't get a grip on life. And I can't avoid the sickness. I'm back on the elderberries that I forgot about. So I'm doing that. I got all the vitamin. I'm going to do everything I can to not let it happen again. Back to school. Am I right?
Yeah.
All the parents out there.
What it is.
But my fave comes out of that, because we always turn our fails into a fave. And that is that I have introduced the daughter to Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's right.
I can't say she's hooked. She's 9. But
it's a little young, I feel.
do appreciate that she does like to roast things like we do.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So even though we were like miserable and we're sleeping downstairs, and it took us like 3 nights to finish it because we're just only can like last so long. And, she's roasting some of this stuff, and it's just really funny and entertaining. And she kept like criticizing the 2 white men, like, Aragorn, and what's the other guy's name?
Boromir?
Yeah. He was like, wait, is that guy? That guy? They're the same guy. It's like the same.
Like they
so
look
she's like
the same.
Roasting them. And I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child. Like, you don't know Aragorn at all. Aragorn or whatever. Like, you don't even know yet. Because I'm like, every time now, because I've only really like rewatched them like in the background the last like 10 years. Like I
do like a deep rewatch once a year.
It was so good. Like to sit down and like fully invest. Like I don't feel good enough to like be scrolling on my phone and doing other things. Like we're just watching it. She's asking a million questions. And I'm just like, I did not appreciate that man as much as I do now as an adult. So
Aragorn, like you want to talk about an awakening.
Yeah.
It's like, because we talked about like the Goblin King, as an awakening. That's like your childhood awakening. Aragorn's like your like teen years to like early 20s, like awakening, where you're like, I didn't fully appreciate him when I was a kid. Because he kind of seemed old, right? You're kind of like, he's old. I'm more into, like, when you're a kid, you're like, I like Legolas. You know what I mean? It's like, he's more of like...
he was popular then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Orlando Blooms of the world, And then you get a little older, and all of a sudden... And the older you get, the better Aragorn gets.
I was like, dude, the lighting, like, the moodiness... Like, I can appreciate it now.
Like, the scene where he pushes open the doors and it's raining.
I haven't gotten that yet. But there's plenty of other scenes that are underrated now that I'm just like, golden. And she's sitting here roasting him. He's like, isn't that other guy? And I can't stand the other guy. And I'm like, no, they're different. So it was funny. Because she's like, are you sure they're not the same guy? And I'm like, well, they're 2 humans. I know it's kind of confusing.
Mine are so random. Luckily this was a very uneventful week. I feel like, it's like I live by the no news is good news philosophy, like through and through. Okay, so my fave actually just happened, but I had to share it because it was just such a fun little treat. So In my ideal dream of a world, every single client that I would have come in and get a service from me at work would like literally be a book nerd. Yeah, like, and we just talk about books the whole time. And I would say like at this point, a good 50% of my clientele probably fits that. And I love that for me and for them because I'm just like, we just have the best conversations. It's great. I had a new client this morning. I had briefly met her before, but like only kind of in passing. And so I hadn't really worked on her. And, you know, we're kind of going through the basics, you know, like, oh, do you have any kids? Oh, you know, whatever. So she tells me, she's like, oh yeah, my son's name is Ronan. And I'm like, oh, that's a cute name. I was like, it reminds me of one of my favorite book characters. And she was like, is it Rowan from Throne of Glass? I know. I was like, girl, we're going to be such good friends. I was like, yes, it is. And we just started talking about that. And she's read the whole Massiverse. And so, yeah, it was a fun little moment for the week because it's just like, I love making those connections and finding out that like another person is into it. You know what I mean? It's just so much fun. Yeah. So that was my fave of the week. I feel like it was really cool. She did. I said something. I might have said like, oh yeah, we're podcasting. Because I asked her, I was like, oh, did you read ACOTAR and Crescent City as well? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, we're podcasting about ACOTAR today. And so she might actually listen to this episode someday. So
shout out, what's up?
I know. So that was really fun. That was cool.
Nice.
Side win fave of the week is that my husband is officially moving on to the next book in Throne of Glass, so he is going to be starting Heir of Fire.
Oh, that's mine. That's my favorite. No pressure, but ooh.
And he started with Assassin's Blade, so we're counting this as book 4. So he's already 3 books done. Yeah. Moving on to the 4th book.
Just the fact that he hasn't given up yet, like
kudos, yeah, 100%.
For
I know he's like
new to like fantasy and reading more things in general. Yeah. Good for you.
So I told him, I was like, this is when the good characters start coming in. This is like, I mean, he just got the grand unveiling. So yeah, he's going into the good stuff.
That was the book that hook, line, and sinker me for sure.
Yeah.
Like it started revving up, but then like I was really in it. And then I was in it.
Well, yeah, because it's like, you know, Heir of Fire is when you meet Rowan, you meet Manon. Sorry, we call her Manon here. Be mad. We don't care.
Dude, there's so much Manon slander out there when we have to meet her. I had no idea people felt that way. They're like, why do I have to read this chapter about the witch? And I'm like, what?
The best. She was my favorite right off the bat.
Angry about that. I guess because they wanted to hear about the other story going on, but
whatever. The more the merrier.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, so that was my extra fave of the week because I'm like so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so my fail is so weird and so random. Okay, so I get my nails are not acrylic. Okay, they're Gel X is what they're called. Yeah. So it's like a gel extension with gel polish on the top. I love my nail lady. She's the best. So what I didn't realize until recently is that, okay, so you know, like you're lighting a candle with just one of those regular, like little, I don't know, Bic lighters or whatever. Not the stick ones, but like the short ones.
Yeah.
Literally your nails will catch on fire, guys.
Done it, been there.
Yeah. So far I've caught my thumbnail on fire twice to the point where like it's like a little candle. It's like literally a flame and you have to like blow it out.
That was one of my fails like a few months ago because that literally happened right before filming.
It's like literally like, oh my god, my thumbnail's on fire. Yeah. And so that happened a couple times previously, but I've been burning my candles a lot more because it's like getting more into like the fall moody time. I picked up a couple like Halloween candles from Target, and I have like literally like this thumbnail on my right hand is like all burnt and like curved over on this side because I just gave up on caring. Like that's my fail. It's like I literally was like, every time I light a candle it catches on fire, so I'm just gonna accept it. So now every time I light a candle, my nail catches on fire and I like just blow it out and I move on.
That's just the like previous nail fumes talking. It went straight to your head. Like, just accept us. It's going to happen.
I mean, there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to go. I live outside of town. I'm not going to drive 20 minutes down the hill and 20 minutes back. So 40 minutes to get like a stick lighter. I'm just not going to do it.
Well, how about just next time
I know.
there? I need to
Just
do
get
it too.
one.
You know, I don't have anything right now, but I need to, and I will not learn my lesson and do the same as you next time I put it back on.
I know.
Because it's not something you think about, you know, until it already happens. You're like, dang it, I need to get that. Oh, no, I did it again. Dang it.
Yeah.
So it's good for you to just accept it. You know, I think that's healthy.
I did. I think so,
I mean,
too.
healthy for your soul, maybe not your body or your brain, but, you know, something. Whatever.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Now.
So, okay, so let's get into our spoiler-free Star Spice recommendation rating. Okay?
Let's go.
Okay, so I rated Court of Wings and Ruin, ACOWAR. I rated it 5 stars easily.
Yeah.
Not even a question. Not like a, maybe it's a 4, maybe it's 5. No, like an instantaneous 5-star.
Yeah.
I rated it a 2 spice. That's generous. I feel like it's more of like a 1.5. But I gave it 2 because I don't like to do halves because I feel like that's a slippery slope. And I like everything to just be like straight away, just is what it is. So I gave it a 2 spice because the scenes are good, but they're infrequent. That's not the focus of this book, in my opinion. And I would literally recommend it for anyone who's into fantasy, romance, period. That's it. If you're even looking to get into that genre and you just want a really fast-paced book. Obviously, it's book 3, so you got to start at the beginning. But
yeah,
it's amazing. It's one of my favorite books for sure.
Yeah.
It did not disappoint. This was a reread for me. So I read it the first time, I don't know, years ago, to the point where I had forgotten a lot of it. And so even though I knew the main points still and I saw everything coming, it still like emotionally affected me just as much, if not more, the second time.
Wow.
And to me, that's like a very good read when you're like, you know what's going to happen and it still gets you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So good. So good. So what about you?
Yeah, 5 stars, man. 5 freaking stars. Yeah. I can't decide if this book was my favorite or Mist and Fury. Again, I didn't reread it yet. I can't wait to be able to have time and a couple, a year or so more buffer to reread it. But, like, it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
It's going to be so
good.
I'm
thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I always go with Liz for the spice rating, and especially because I haven't read it recently. I don't remember anything about spice. So go with that. With what Liz said. And yeah, recommend it for romantasy readers and people that this series, again, I think I say it every time we talk about ACOTAR, but this is what got me back into reading. So and Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin especially was what really got me going. I ate these books up so fast. I could have put them down. You know?
That's their page turners.
Put them down.
100%.
It's crazy. So yes, I love it. Everything about it. I did some quick recap before going. And again, I was like, wow, this has so much information. I think that on a reread that you can catch. So if you're thinking about like, should I reread it? I don't know. I'm like, dang, I should just reread it right now because there's a lot, especially if you're reading everything that you read. Then read it. I can't say anything. So
yeah, I know. We're still in the spoiler free. I'm a Court of Silver Flames girly, so that's book 5 for anyone who doesn't know. But you know what? I'm really curious to see the second time around how I feel about everything because I mean it was a very easy. A Court of Mist and Fury has always been my favorite out of the 5 books. However, this time reading it, I loved this book so much. I almost think that it's not going to dethrone A Court of Mist and Fury. It's going to make me like it even more than I liked it the first time.
Silver Flames.
Silver Flames, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I'm going to like it even more than I did the first time because I can see all the setup happening. Yeah. So I don't want to give anything away, but it's like, I think I'm just going to love it even more. So I'm really looking forward to getting there. Yeah. So, okay. So should we just get into the spoiler section?
Let's go.
For anyone who doesn't know, that means get out of here if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Go on, get spoilers coming. Choo choo. I tried to keep it on theme, but I couldn't think of what a theme would be, so I just went with what felt right.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, that'd be tough. It's like you'd have to sing like one of the songs from the reels that's like really popular. You know what I'm talking about? Like every time someone's talking about Valaris or whatever. That'd be tough.
Yeah. But I need to make it more jarring than that. So
you need more
I'll work on
instruments
it for the next time. Next one, I'll think of something for Frost and Starlight. Everybody's
that's
favorite.
Just you could sing some Christmas music for that one. Yeah. That'll be fine.
I feel like that book is underrated. That's book number 4 for those that don't know. I love it.
We'll get there. We'll talk about it.
We'll get there. That'll be a quick read too. So we'll have that one sooner rather than later, I think.
Well, and then I'm like, okay, I'm looking so forward to reading A Court of Silver Flames that I'm like, I'm just going to fly through that in probably like 2 days because I'm going to eat it up.
That's a thick boy too.
I know, but guess who else is a thick boy?
Heyo,
Cassie.
You'll find out. Book 5.
Yeah. Okay, so
it is
5
time.
sentences. Okay.
All right, Liz. Crows be with you.
Crows be with me.
You're supposed to say, and also with you.
Oh, and also with you. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So, A Court of Wings and Ruin in 5 sentences. Not less.
Oh, by the way, those that don't watch our mini episodes and are listening to this, I have the mascot for Best Season of Books podcast, the triangle. Every time Liz finishes a sentence, because it's 5 sentences or less, she gets a little ding-a-ling sound. So, it's a counter. Instead of, we were going old school here. We wanted an actual physical
sound.
A ding sound. Stop saying ding-a-ling. And so
it's making me feel uncomfy.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. It's so basically
that's what we have here.
It started off as a game. Can I do it? Can I put the whole plot of a book, this big, 700 and some odd pages, into 5 sentences or less? And that was the joke. Is am I going to go into the trash can or am I going to get the treasure?
Yeah.
It started off with Harry Potter, so what did I get to pick from the Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah.
So, what do I get to pick out, I don't know, of the cauldron of the somewhere?
Yeah.
Sure. So that's what this is. So Ashley will just give me a nice little positive reinforcement.
Yeah, it's the Pavlov experiment.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yeah, exactly.
It's encouraging.
And
we all love it. Everyone loves the triangle. Who doesn't?
I know. It's a hit.
It feels like the forbidden triangle. Like, I don't know if I legally am allowed to own this.
What?
It just feels like one of those instruments you shouldn't be allowed to own. You just get it from the school and then you have to give it back. I don't know.
Oh, like you can only buy. I was like, what do you mean illegal? Like, what's illegal about it?
I didn't know it was so easy. Anyways.
Okay, yeah. You have to check it out. Like
the nasty flutes they pass out, which they're not flutes, they're recorders. They're flute. Whatever. Anyways, let's go. We're going to talk forever about school instruments.
Okay. All right. 5 sentences or less, A Court of Wings and Ruin. Farah escapes the spring court with Lucian in tow after Regina Georging Tamlin and turning everyone against him, essentially taking down his court from within.
That was so great. Regina Georging him.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was like, she turns him against his friends, and against his army, and against all the people, right? So it's cracked me up.
That was good.
Okay. So, once back in Valaris and reunited with her found family and her sisters, the Inner Circle and Lucian start formulating a plan to repair the holes in the wall using Nesta's unknown powers and Amren's knowledge of the Book of Breathings so that Hybern and the King cannot break it with the power of the cauldron and conquer basically everyone, including the human lands.
There you go. Nice.
Great. Okay. Oh, you're not counting me in. That was 2.
That was 2. Sorry.
That's okay.
Just count the dings.
Okay. Count the dings. You can guess it. We just keep going forever. Wait, it's 10 dings. Okay. In preparation for this great war, Farah makes a deal with Briaxis, the monster under the library, and the Bone Carver by bringing him the Ouroboros mirror. Rhys makes a deal with the Weaver. Lucian convinces the human queens, including the Firebird, to assist. And Farah and Rhys rally all the courts, including Mor's dad's legions, aside from Spring and Autumn, to help them. But then the king wheels the cauldron and takes down the wall.
Woo! Oh, sorry. Hang on. Time out. Okay. I'm losing my touch. Is that good? I have my headphones on. I don't know.
I feel like, yes.
Muted for me.
I feel like it's harder to hear it, but then when you listen to the playback, it sounds good. So I think it's deceiving.
Okay.
It knows. It knows that it's being recorded.
Okay. Okay, do your magic, triangle.
Okay.
All right. 3. That was 3, right?
Yeah, 3. Okay.
3.
Lots of commas in there, but it was 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Several bloody battles ensue as Farah and Amren attempt to steal the cauldron back from the king to nullify its powers and prevent further destruction. And just when things appear hopeless, Tamlin and Jurian reveal themselves as double agents. Miriam and Dracon and their legions, who have been hidden for hundreds of years, show up to help. Lucian, the queen's and the Archeron sisters' dad, with a fleet of ships, pops up. Spring and Autumn jump in, and Amren is unleashed in her true form by Farah and the cauldron, essentially winning them the war.
Wow. 4.
Meanwhile, Nesta and Cassian are about to be killed by the King of Hybern, who snaps their dad's neck, when Elaine stabs him through the throat with Truth Teller before Nesta beheads him. Rhys dies repairing the cauldron with Farah, but is brought back when all the High Lords give a piece of their magic, even Tamlin. Amren is also resurrected, but is now only High Fae, and they all begin the work of coexisting in a new era of peace after hiding the cauldron on Miriam and Dracon's secret island.
It's pretty long. We'll allow it because we make up the rules. 5.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot happened in that book. That doesn't even count. Like, that, I feel like the first half was summed up in one sentence, the first sentence.
Yeah.
Because that's like a whole half.
Yeah. It was the whole beginning part. Court. Yeah. But not a lot, but not a lot happens at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's important, but at the same time, it's not like there's the details of it. It's like you just need to know kind of like what happened, not the details
pretty much
of it.
Overthrows the spring court and turns everyone against him.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yay!
Y'all didn't think she could do it. She did it. Treasure box for you. Congratulations.
Yay. Okay, so...
Well, Liz.
Yes.
Let's dive into this a little bit.
Okay.
What were 3 tropes in this book that you loved?
So, okay, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, if you guys read Sarah J. Maas, you know, like, there's just so many that we come to expect from her books that are just really amazing. But I think that the one that stood out to me the most that I loved so much in this book was the idea of found family. Normally that gets kind of booted to the side for me when you have, you know, my other favorite ones, which are like fated mates and enemies to lovers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know, I put my number one favorite one is found family because I feel like this was the book where like, yeah, we've met the inner circle already. We already know them from books, you know, mostly book 2. But I feel like this is when we really got to see them all come together to go to war together. And like the level of like dedication to each other that all of them have. Not just like Rhys to take care of his people, but like just how close they all are. It was like really, really, it was awesome to read about. It was one of my favorite things for sure. Fated Mates, obviously, I love reading about, you know, Farah and Rhys and how they come together as High Lady and, you know, of the like Night Court. I just love how they work together. Like, it's just such a fun thing to watch or to read. I say watch because I feel like I can like see it in my mind at this point, you know?
Yeah.
And then enemies to lovers, it's like, you know, we've got some like little hints going on between, you know, Nesta and Cassian, especially towards the end of the book where it's like, obviously, you know that they like each other.
Yeah, for sure.
You see it going on through like the whole book, but at the very end, which we'll talk about that epic
Even
part.
in the last book, you see them like having that angstiness towards each other.
Yeah.
Like hate to love.
Exactly. But you're not really sure where it's going. But then at the end of this book, you like see like, oh, that's where it's going. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite things about this book, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So those are my 3 favorite tropes. So found family, fated mates, and enemies to lovers were my top 3.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm going to say the new trope that you just invented, the Mean Girls trope, the Regina Georging trope, like take down the Queen Bee trope.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of my favorite things in the book is Feyre in the first half scheming up all of these plans to overthrow Tamlin and turn his court against him so that she can go back and get done what she needs done because he did her dirty and very selfishly in the last book where he made this deal with King of Hybern. So whatever that trope really is, I don't know, but
like
that's
betrayal,
one of my favorite things. Like purposeful betrayal.
Yeah, it would be like Trojan horse. Like, we're just going to call it that.
Yeah, the Trojan horse trope.
Yeah.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So that was probably one of my favorite things in the book. Fated mates, hands down.
Yeah.
Still obsessed with Feyre and Rhysand. So love them so much.
I love them more the second time around reading it, I think. I don't know why. Yeah. I felt like I connected with them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, whatever, everything about it I loved. So it's hard to break it down into these little things, like hunting information. Like,
oh, yeah. Like all the, like, political, that would be like political scheming. I really
yeah.
I really like political scheming a lot. I know it's not for everybody, but this book was highly, like, very, it was like strategy, politics, and battle. Like, those were, like, the main
it in
thing.
The fantasy world. Like, give me a, like, more contemporary book like that. Yuck. But in fantasy, I love that.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay,
one of the tropes that I really disliked, I don't know all the time what the official names of these are, but so I just put people not actually being dead. Okay?
Yeah.
That was one of the tropes that I don't like, and I feel like if I had to nitpick this book and pick something that I didn't like about it, it would be that. Do I want Rhys to be dead, or Cassian, or Nesta, or Amren, or, like, do I want anyone to be dead? No, I don't. However, it does get a little bit annoying when it's like everyone's just dying and then being resurrected all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that was the thing that bothered me, because I feel like I understand why none of the characters, like none of the mains, got killed. I get it.
Yeah.
And I feel so attached to them, I wouldn't want them to. But at the same time, sometimes the resurrection thing gets a little old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, it's hard. It is. It's hard because usually my critique for that would be when they're inexperienced. These are, dare I say, the top leaders that have lived 500 years each. Like, they're, except the girls, except
I
the
was going to say, they're new. They're super new.
Honestly, like, sad to say, and I know they're going to be needed probably for other books, but it should have been one of the sisters at the very least, because they're the only ones that are inexperienced.
Yeah.
The other ones have a pretty good chance, but even Amren getting through it, I'd say that's a fair critique.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, and then she just comes back out of the cauldron and she's alive, and all she sacrificed was her, like, otherworldly beingness, whatever that means, because we don't really know what Amren is. I thought that was a little, like, I feel like Amren could have died and it would have been fine. However, it's like maybe she will need to be extra important moving forward. I don't know. Yeah.
Or, like, don't have Rhys pretend die.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly.
I know he had to for some reason with the Amren thing, but did he? I don't know, because it just felt like too easy to just be able to ask the High Lords also, okay, I know you already saved Feyre, because it's already been done. We already read that in the first book.
Exactly.
And then for Rhys then it feels less high stakes when we do that.
He could have just gotten gravely injured and almost died, and we would have still felt the same thing.
Yeah. Being the first time I read it and being, like, reintroduced to fantasy, I did not critique it that hard, and I definitely was crying and like, oh my gosh, and then he comes back. So it was fine, but rereading it, I think I would have the same feeling, like, okay, well, they should have done something different with that one.
Yeah.
Like, just make him seriously injured.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, Yeah.
And it wouldn't be that unrealistic in a battle of that magnitude for people to be gravely injured. I mean, Asriel was gravely injured. Cassian was gravely injured. Like, obviously Rhys transformed into his beast form, and so that's why he didn't get as injured as the other two. But still, it wouldn't be that unbelievable. Yeah,
the only, like, they weren't main players, but, like, just the Weaver died and
the Surreal
other guy. Right? So just kidding. Forget everything I said. The Surreal.
Yeah, justice for the Surreal.
Surreal. Okay, that was enough death for all of us. Never mind.
Killing off the Surreal was sad.
The Surreal was literally heartbreaking. I was crying in my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I did even feel for the Weaver, because I just wanted to see where that storyline would have gone. And then the other one died too, right? But, like, now that, okay, that's different.
No, Briaxus didn't die.
Theory,
the Bone Carver. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, Briaxus, they just don't know.
He just went off into the wherever. He went off. So. Yeah, because Cassian's all freaked out.
The Bone Carver died.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, like, Did they?
Did they? Exactly. We don't really know because we don't really understand their essence. You know what I mean? Like we don't really.
I don't understand their essence.
Yeah.
They were killed with a sword. Refresh my memory.
I don't think that they
everyday sword.
I don't think they really said. They just kind of said they were like overwhelmed or something like that. Like I don't. Yeah. Unless I'm remembering that wrong because it was like so chaotic and I was reading pretty fast because I was really into it. You know. But no, I don't think that it was like there was a special weapon needed to kill them. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So. So then my favorite microtrope. So I felt like this was important to note because it was like, you know, we talk a lot about things like found family and, you know, enemies to lovers and whatnot. But I feel like microtropes are important to note because I feel like lots of times those are the things that really like hook us in. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I think that this really started my obsession with like winged men. And so my favorite like microtrope is literally just like wings, like guys with wings.
Yeah.
I
mean, I got them right here on my Illyrian. I can't even say that.
Illyrian,
Illyrian, my wings. Illyrian wings.
Yeah.
I feel it.
I mean, I've got Hunt's wings tattooed on my leg. So
yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, when I was thinking about microtropes, I was like, I think that got a lot of us hooked.
Yeah, for sure.
The Bat Boys hooked us.
Yeah.
What about you? Did you have like a smaller, like less known, like microtrope that like you feel like stood out to you?
Just magical powers.
Magical powers. Yeah.
Gets us every time. This is so much cooler to read about than just everyday humans.
It's so true.
That's what got me.
It's so true. Yeah. I feel like, just, I don't know. I always love that. Just like learning about, there's something about like learning about everyone's magical powers, especially because with someone like Farah, it's like we didn't really know exactly like what the extent of her powers are. So it's fun to watch her learn. And Nesta now, we're going into like what kind, all we know is that Nesta was made by the cauldron and she has something to do with death. We don't really know what that means yet. So I love that as well. But yeah, there's just something about, you know, a guy who can wield the powers. It's like the shadow daddy concept, you know? That's what it is. Yeah. So, okay, so let's see here. Do you have a favorite part?
Just like between like the beginning of the book and like when you get to the end, that whole part. That's my favorite. The whole book. Dude, does any one particular part stick out to me? Because I loved Farah's takedown of the whole system, and I loved them even just going and talking to the bone carver and finding out more information about the old world. So it's too hard to narrow down. And even just the fight, the end. What friggin' okay, when they friggin' put the sword through the King of Hybern, how about that?
Yeah. When
friggin' to the man that did it. And the sister's taking him down.
You know,
satisfying.
Now that we've read the whole Massiverse and we know the journey that Truth Teller goes on, I feel that it was much more impactful for me to like know that Elaine stabs and well, she doesn't technically kill him, but I mean, pretty much. It's a group effort. But she stabs the King of Hybern with Truth Teller. I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That means something. I don't really know what. I don't know if anyone really knows at this point, but it's got to mean something. I think it's going to come back around. My favorite part was Cassian's freaking speech. Guys, the way that I sobbed the first time I read it and the way that I sobbed the second time I read it. Guess how many times I read it through this time? I read that part 4 times in a row. Because I was like, I need to fully absorb it. You know what I mean? Just like the impact of it. I'm like, oh my God, just his whole like, you know, my only regret is that we didn't have enough time. Like, what? I'm like getting chills right now. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. So, you know, I'll share the exact quote like when we talk about quotes later on. But I feel like to me, that was like the most impactful, best part of the whole book for sure. Yeah. Do you have a least favorite part? There's something about the book that bugged you?
Okay, so the freaking twins, man.
Yeah,
they're the worst. The Daglin twins.
Yeah, they sucked really bad.
So probably when they eat the humans.
Oh yeah, and then you just like mutilate them or whatever. That was pretty
gnarly. I mean, it was necessary for their characters' life, but
yeah.
That's the part. It was necessary though, you know. So
I honestly think my least favorite part was when Reese dies and then comes back to life, because I feel like that did not need to happen. Which I know that it's like there are other parts that weren't good in the book that we were meant to not like those things. Like we were meant to not like the twins because they suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that was probably my least favorite part, and the way that I think that it could have been done differently and had a similar impact without being repetitive.
Yeah.
But I do think that it was important that all of the High Lords gave Reese a part of their magic to bring him back to life, because what it did is it symbolized them supporting him moving forward, but then also it symbolized Tamlin accepting them almost and like letting her go.
Yeah.
And I think that was important.
True.
Yeah.
That is true. He had to do it too.
He had to do it too. And he could have chosen not to do it. But like, and I think that's why, like, when people talk about giving Tamlin a redemption story, like, it makes sense, because I feel like at the heart of him, he isn't a bad person. He's just has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously this book is like one of the most popular romantasy books probably ever. You probably agree that it deserves to be popular, like as popular as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hands down.
Yeah. You rereading it, do you feel like it deserves to be popular?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, because like because it's like you go into it thinking like, okay, you know, I've read fantasy all my life. This particular series, I wouldn't say that it got me back into reading, but it got me back into reading fantasy. Because I was like, I've always been a reader. I always have read a lot, but I was definitely coming out of like reading a lot of, I don't know, just other things. I don't know, whatever, random other stuff. And this got me back into reading like fantasy series. And so I did kind of wonder, like, when I reread this, am I going to be like, dang, it's not as good as I remember it being? Like, maybe I hyped it up too much. No, it was even better. Just like when I did.
That's gotta mean something.
It does mean something. Like the fact that I cried just as much this time as I did the first time, even though I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's good writing. That's like great writing, great character development. That's what that is. Because you're so attached to these people, you feel like you know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So let's see here. Do you have like a favorite character and a least favorite character?
Yeah. That is hard because everybody's so awesome. Like, not everybody, but like the characters are so well developed. You're really attached to most of them. But people give Feyre a hard time, but I love her. I've always loved her. Mm-hmm. She's my favorite. Sorry. I love Nesta for what she is, but I love Feyre.
I feel like in this book, you'd be hard pressed to find people who like Nesta yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, you don't really know much about her. Like, she's still kind of just mean. Like, someone described her to me as, like, the evil stepsister, even though she's not. She's a real sister, but... Yeah. And that's kind of still how I feel like most people would perceive her.
Yeah, she's pulling all the weight. She stepped up. She did the thing. She gets a bat. Like, people want a dog on her, but I just think that she's badass. And she does a good job. So... There are a lot of underrated characters, I will say, you know?
Yeah.
I do love Lucian. I'm a Lucian stan.
I do too.
I want to see where that goes.
Me too.
I think something's going on with Jurian, you know? Something's there. I want to find out more. I want to find out, like, what if he's double agent? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a big question mark, which makes me excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Favorite character?
Cassian.
Yeah.
Can I say that faster?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
There's just, you know, I think I put this in the Fable chat. It's like, I picture him to fight like how you would watch the 300 fight, like in the movie, only with wings. Yeah. And so it's like he's just his character's just written so well. It's like he's this, you know, he's been with Reese for 500 years. So, you know, he's at least 500 years old. Yeah. But he still manages to be lighthearted and fun and make jokes and when things are in dire situations, but not in an annoying, like childish, stupid way, but like in I've lived 500 years and I've battled so many times and I'm this super powerful being, but at the same time, like I know how to lighten a mood and be the center of the party. And I just love that about him. I think he's a great character. I think he's perfect for Nesta, and I can't wait to see where that goes. My least favorite character, and you kind of brought him up, is probably Jurian, honestly.
Oh, interesting.
Because I get slime ball vibes from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just do. Like, even though it's like we're supposed to believe at this point in time that he's like on our side, and I'm like, but is he? And is he sane? He was inside of a ring for like how freaking long? Like a long time. Yeah. Like, I don't think he's all there. I think something's a brewing.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. That's why he's intriguing to me. Like, that's why I want to know more.
Yeah.
Because like, what?
I don't trust him. So therefore I don't like him right now.
Yeah.
But you know, he could also be completely on the up and up and definitely and be on our side. But would that be that exciting? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my least favorite character was probably, is it Ianthe?
Oh, she was terrible.
Social climbing slime ball, forcing herself on Lucian.
Poor Lucian.
Like her. Loved that Feyre, like, freaking knocked her down so many pegs.
Made her smash her own hand with a rock. That scene gave me some more respect for Feyre, because I definitely... She's pretty cutthroat. Like, the first time I read it, I feel like I didn't quite understand the degree that Feyre gets to be kind of badass as this moves along. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, she was a terrible character. I agree.
Yeah. Needed, but terrible.
Yeah, needed, but terrible, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and since I just did my reread, I annotated it this time. I think the first time I read it, I just read the paperback. So this time I was on my Kindle, so I was able to highlight stuff. My favorite, and I picked two because I couldn't just pick one. So, I love the quote where she says, "Only I could allow the bad to break me. Only I could own it, embrace it." I love that part where she's talking about, like, basically, you know, what she sees of herself, like when she looks in the Ouroboros mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what an impactful thing to basically, like, look at all of the horrible things about yourself and accept them. To be able to, you know, actually take the mirror and give it to the bone carver because of that, you know, and turned out to be a test, which I thought was kind of clever. But yeah, so I love that part. So I had to include that. But my all-time favorite quote from this book, everyone's favorite quote from this book. So Cassian grunted in pain, but lifted his bloody hands to cup her face. "I have no regrets in my life but this." His voice shook with every word. "That we did not have time. That I did not have time with you, Nesta." She didn't stop him as he leaned up and kissed her lightly as much as he could manage. Cassian said softly, brushing away the tear that streaked down her face, "I will find you again in the next world, the next life, and we will have that time, I promise."
Aww.
I literally can't. I can't. It's like...
Beautiful.
I always, like, when I'm reading stuff like that, I always look over at my husband. I'm like, why don't you ever say this to me? He told me if we ever have to go to battle, then we'll see.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
We'll see still.
Yeah, you can't just say, yeah, sure. But no, I mean, that scene to me is just like one of the most well-written scenes, and just shows you how much Nesta and Cassian feel for each other, even though they've shown like none of, like, they're not together, you know? And so I love that.
Yeah.
So do you want me to just, since I was the one who just reread it, do you want me to talk about how I felt about the spice? Like, and
yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't remember what was in it.
So
as that goes.
I thought that just due to the nature of this book, like the fact that the majority of this book, they're in some kind of battle, I feel. So it's like Feyre leaves like the Spring Court, and then from then on it's like meeting with their allies, trying to gain allies, political scheming, battles. Like, that's what it is. I felt like for that, because that was the focus of the book, the amount of spice that was included was perfect. Like, would I have liked it if there was more? Sure. I'm not going to complain. But like, at the same time, I wasn't mad at the fact that there wasn't a bunch, because I feel like it just wouldn't have really made a whole lot of sense in the context of the story. Yeah. So I liked it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a perfect balance, and, you know, I wouldn't change it. So let's see here. Obviously, I'm excited to read the next two books.
Yeah. If I have time, I'll read Frost and Starlight because it's short and it's wintry and cozy.
Yeah, for anyone who's like reading these perhaps on Kindle or just like ebook, whatever, like Frost and Starlight's a novella. I know a lot of people don't know that going into it. So they like start reading it. They're like, well, how am I always already 50% through? Mm-hmm. It's just a short little novella before you get into book 5.
It's still needed though. Don't skip it. It's not like one of those novellas you can skip. No. There's still information in there that you need.
Yes. Yeah, it's not like ancillary at all. Like, make sure to read it in the order that they come out in. So I count it as book 4. Some people don't. I count it as book 4. So I am super excited to read it. I'm gonna get into it like as soon as I finish book club book for this month. It's happening. Yeah, I'm getting into it so that we can get into Silver Flames. I'm so excited. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that both of us are pretty darn excited to continue on. And it's like, it's a reread, so obviously we liked them. We're pretty pumped I'm pumped to see like how I feel about A Court of Silver Flames going into it the second time. And I'm even excited about Frost and Starlight because I feel like I just probably flew through it last time because I think that was the last one that was available. Like, I had to wait for Silver Flames to come out the last time. And this time I don't. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we decided to kind of like end on high note, low note, high reviews, low reviews.
We'll just get a more polling the people,
polling of the people. Yeah, just to see. Yeah. I'm always curious to see, why did you love it? Why did you hate it? Like, to me, that's hilarious to find out. Like, sometimes they're really funny. So I did Goodreads. We didn't really talk about this. Did you do Goodreads as well?
I will be sharing some Reddit reviews.
Oh my God,
yes. Thought of on the fly. Because we love reacting to Reddit over here.
We
truly
do.
Like, they're more I don't want to say unhinged, uncensored on Reddit.
100%.
Because you can be so much more anonymous, so people really let it out there.
Well, it's not like an official review website like Goodreads, right? It's like you're just saying you're just going off on whatever you want.
Just go off, boo.
Yep.
So
okay, so we'll end with yours because that's gonna be good. Okay, so on Goodreads, there's about 1.9 million ratings.
Dang, boo.
Yeah.
1.9? That's almost 2 million.
Almost 2 million ratings. Yeah.
Wow.
Written reviews, there's 134,000. So actually like where people take the time to write reviews. Okay, so an average of 4.48. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, man.
Pretty darn good.
Out of that many as well.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason why.
There's a reason why.
So good.
So, okay, so I pulled a couple 1-star and then a couple 5-star. So we're just going to start with the 1-star. Yeah. I'm like laughing because this is just cracked me up. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole review because it's long, but the beginning was hilarious. Okay, so Alan's review was 1 star. Before I get into the review, I will say one nice thing about this book. I really, really liked the Cauldron. It was my favorite character. I feel so seen by the Cauldron. We could honestly just be the same person because it killed Rhysand. I would also kill Rhysand if given the opportunity. Truly unfortunate that he ends up resurrected. And B, it took one look at this entire, we'll just say crap fest of a world, plot, characters, and war, and decided to destroy everything, which is exactly what I wanted to do the whole time I was reading this book.
Brutal.
In conclusion, stan the Cauldron.
That's great.
And then they go on to like talk and talk and talk. But I felt like that was such a hilarious take. Like, I love the Cauldron because it just wanted to take all these fools down. Like, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
Okay. So Liv's 1-star review, quote, his groans of pleasure drowned out the sounds of the injured and dying. That is all.
That was pretty, insensitive, if you will. Yeah.
That cracked me up. Yeah. I mean, but if you think you're going to die at any point, get it while you can get it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get, I don't know. I don't judge him for it. I don't. Okay. Yeah. So then we'll do a couple 5 stars. Okay. So 5-star, Allie says, I think this might be my favorite book in the series so far. I love the romance plot in the second book, but I loved the politics in this book. I found it so interesting. I wasn't bored for a second, which I thought that was a great, just 5-star summation. So Andrea says, 5 stars, glorious, thrilling, and completely enthralling. ACOWAR was everything I hoped for and then some. This is how you end a series. Ha ha ha. It's not quite over, is it? But she thought it was. With love and hope.
It does feel, I have to say, it does feel like it wraps up.
Totally, which I love that, though, because then it's like, it's like we get to move on to a different chapter, so it's not over, but it feels conclusive, you know? And that's kind of what she says. She says, you know, this is how you end a series, with love and hope and happiness painting the grand finale. Maas deserves thunderous applause yet again. I'm like, yeah, I totally agree.
And then
with
she
that.
surprised that reader by saying, ha ha! At least 2 more. Now we know there's a 6th one coming.
Yep.
Oof. That's
we
great.
don't we don't even know where it's going to go. Somewhere amazing, probably, you know, but we can't predict it. Okay, so what do you have from Reddit? I'm genuinely curious.
So it's Rory Gilmore, so she reviewed it. Said they were way too repetitive, in my opinion, and the romance scenes were so grim. I beg her to use a thesaurus on the word growl and mate.
Yeah. I read a review that said that mate, I can't remember how many times it was used, but it was used like 110 times in this book.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was,
but they're literally mates.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But like it did seem a little much at times. Yeah.
The person that commented said, yes, every time I read the word mate, I looked up Office style out into space.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Star-Lord. Finishing ACOWAR is sincerely one of my biggest reading regrets. So take that as you will.
Okay.
I don't know how else to take it. They have no desire to continue on with the series now. But from what they've seen, Silver Flames is even more divisive. People either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Both camps include people on both sides of ACOWAR.
I could see that for sure. Yeah.
You know, that's not everything's for everyone.
That's true.
There you go.
Super
Okay,
true.
so let's get some good ones. This person said, I don't have star ratings, obviously, because it's just random Reddit threads. But this person said it was even better on the reread when they knew what to expect.
Yeah,
they found
right?
themselves enjoying Feyre even more around this time.
Yes. Exactly.
They also know now that they've read the 4th book. Can't say it, but lots of stuff is good.
Lots of stuff is good. Let us convince you to read it. Lots of stuff is good.
Yeah. Yeah, lots
You're
of
welcome.
stuff is good. So keep reading. There you go. This person said, favorite book in the series, hands down. They do love Mist and Fury too, but they like ACOWAR as it's already around an established relationship now between Feyre and Rhys. And so they love also seeing the characters of the sisters being developed.
Yeah, totally.
To see what's to come. So.
Oh, that's something. I mean, I don't think I deserve to go entirely into the trash for this, but I did forget to mention that Elaine was a seer.
Yeah, but it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't go too deep yet. So you're okay. You don't need the trash.
Okay.
No
Not the
trash
trash
for you yet.
But that's I mean, it was important.
So much happened. You can't fit it all into 5 sentences. You did your best.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right. It's all right. We'll give it to you.
So
but you just have to read the book, you know? The people. They do.
So, okay. Should we wrap this up with a smash or pass?
Well, is there anything else you feel like you want to touch on for this book? You feel pretty good?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I mean, I think, you know, we talked about Rhys dying. We talked about the grand finale with Cassie and Nesta throwing her body over him. We talked about Jurian maybe being a, you know, double agent. Like, I feel like those are all the kind of, like, main things that were really important takeaways. Oh, that they went and hid the cauldron over on Miriam. I can't even talk anymore. Miriam. I'm saying too many names. You know what I mean?
So yeah, they're tricky. And it's hard when you're reading it to first say the names out loud. I've found, especially when I'm used to saying, like, Jurian is a good example. You're used to saying Julian.
Yeah.
So even though in your brain you know, and you're seeing the word Jurian, it wants to come out Julian.
Yeah, totally.
So I get it.
So, and the cauldron is now pieced back together, and it's on the island with Miriam and Dracon. That's what it is. I feel like those are the kind of the important takeaways. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that's going on. We're kind of getting set up for maybe some more stuff going on with Nesta and Cassian. So,
yeah.
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 No, I think I feel good about it. How about you? Is there anything else that you feel like notable mentions?
This style, you know, since that we're officially like tried out a kind of different style for these book deep dives. Let us know if you guys liked it this way as opposed to our previous 2 ACOTAR episodes where it was more breakdown line by line. I feel like we still were able to talk about a lot of stuff. Get it down. Now, I have to say, you guys, Liz and I have a lot of bottled up, deep down conspiracy theories that we need to unleash, but now is not the place or the time, no matter how much we want to do it. So, you guys, I think we need to do, you know, an episode coming up here, you know, soon.
I think maybe once I want to
react to people's like conspiracy theories too.
Totally.
So you guys send it to us. You know, we'll get a box going soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we finish this series,
finish ACOTAR and then we can start going in. Because that means we've covered ACOTAR. We did our ranking of Throne of Glass. We didn't fully talk about Throne of Glass because we did our read of that before we were podcasting consistently, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
But we did deep dive Crescent City. So I feel like we're at a good place where it's like we've covered a lot of the Massiverse and we're ready for the conspiracy theories.
So you guys get to reading if you haven't yet.
Catch up.
Read all the things. Because we have some conspiracy theories we need to talk about.
Some good ones.
So,
yeah.
Dude. Mm-hmm. Oh, buckle up.
I have a special Smasher Pass for you today.
Aww.
It's a little bit more, it's ACOWAR related, but it's a little bit more in depth. So I'm looking for a Mary F. Kill.
Okay. They're really hard.
Of Jurian, the Weaver, and the Bone Carver.
Okay.
Let's
remember here, you don't have to picture Bone Carver as what Pharaoh
You could literally picture Bone Carver as whatever, like, he can manifest as whatever to you.
Yes. Okay, let's clarify that always.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be so creepy. That's not what I mean.
Yeah, so just, you know, I just like to clarify, you know? Okay, so
yeah, no, the Bone Carver as it would appear to you. Okay. I didn't include the cereal because I knew that would taint my results.
Mary and Smash.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Love the cereal. Justice for the cereal. Okay, my heart. Mary the Bone Carver.
Okay.
I love that little dude. He's wise.
He is wise.
Or they're wise.
They are wise.
F. Jorian. Because he's cuckoo loco. Don't need him to stick around. But, you know, seems like a good time. And kill the Weaver. Because, ew. She's gross, but I do love her, but like, ew, also.
See, I have a completely different answer. Different answer. Yeah. Okay. So the Weaver, I had a discussion with Racinda about this because she assumed that the Weaver was old and decrepit and scary looking.
Yeah, like foggy eyes and like wispy witch
lady. The Weaver's actually, like, if you look up fan art, and this is how I interpreted it too, so that's what prompted me to look up fan art. The Weaver is actually quite beautiful.
Oh.
She is old, but she doesn't look old.
Oh, I did not know that.
So my answer would actually be I would marry the Weaver.
Oh. For what reason?
Because I just feel like, I don't know. She just seems
cool.
Yeah, she just seems cool. She literally
some human hair blanket? Like what?
She's
like
literally
she makes things out of human skins and organs.
She's basically like a creepy witch who lives in a cottage in the woods. It seems to me she's very Manon adjacent, and this is why. Manon literally drinks people's blood.
Men's blood.
I guess you're safe. Blood. Yeah, I'm
safe. You're safe.
Yep. Okay, so I would marry the Weaver, hands down. Insert character art for you. I would also F Jurian, and then I would kill the Bone Carver, because the Bone Carver creeps me out.
He creeps you out?
He creeps me out.
He's I like him. Something about him.
They're like the whittle bones. I don't know. I don't like it.
Who's your favorite, though, of the three? Braxis, Bone Carver, Weaver.
Braxis. No, that's not his name. That's the name of...
Bryaxis?
Bryaxis. I'm mixing him up with a Braxis.
I love him.
I love him because of how scared he makes Cassian.
Yes. Yes.
That's it.
It's the lore. You have to know. Like, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
That's why ACOTAR is so perfect in so many ways, because you can love it as much as we do and find the hilarity in it.
Yeah.
Like the roasting,
100%.
like the roasting of the Lord of the Rings. Like we'll circle back to that. You know, like
Yeah.
you can love something so much and take memes from something you love and make funny reels, and like the way Cassian is so freaked out by him is so funny.
Well, and think about
he
it.
just wants to see the sun.
I know. I'm like, literally all Briaxis wants is to hang in the library and like see the sun and the stars through a window. That's like literally all he wants to do.
You're not asking for much.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that was mine. What do you have for me?
What are we talking about? Oh, okay. Sorry, that was my brain dying, guys. We're just vibing. I forgot we were doing Smash or Pass.
I just took a drink. I almost spit that everywhere. Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Where are we?
I told you guys, I'm only at 90%, so that 10%, it's,
it's important. Yeah.
It's part of my brain is that.
Oh my God.
It's a
That's
5%
hilarious.
cough, 5% not having my brain back. Okay.
That cracked me up. Oh my
Okay,
God.
we're doing Smash or Pass.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
indeed.
I kept it ACOWAR related as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've done this one yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. King of Highburn.
Ooh, we have not done that. Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Yeah.
I can't with him. He sucks.
Yeah. He sucks.
And truthfully, I'm like, do we even know what he looks like? Like, I don't know.
Do we know what his first name is? Those who know. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Also,
Conspiracy theory.
yeah, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Sorry.
No.
Okay, so we're getting delirious now. Great. Okay, no matter. I know that these dudes are like ancient fae, essentially. Maybe not ancient, but they're 500
Yeah.
years old. King of Hybern's probably pretty freaking up there.
Pretty old, yeah.
But they're like young. I cannot not picture him as like, what's that terrible King of England from back in the day who had like 4 wives and would kill him because she wasn't giving him male heirs.
Like Henry VIII or whatever?
Yeah, Henry VIII. I always picture him as Henry VIII, but maybe like a little buffer, but not by much, you know?
See,
but I know that's inaccurate, but I can't picture anything else but like a slimy, overly hairy neck beard, stubble, kind of fat dude, you know?
See, okay, that's interesting because I picture him like, I guess kind of similarly. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Why am I blanking out on it right now? The king from Game of Thrones, season 1, book 1, like before, like Joffrey's dad. Like, well, not Joffrey's dad, but who we're supposed to think is Joffrey's dad. I picture him like that. So kind of like I could see kind of similarly, like exactly what you're saying, kind of like the very stereotypical king.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like too many shirts on, too
many
many necklaces.
Yeah, too many rings. Basically,
layers,
too much
too many
jewelry, too much clothes,
Just too much going
too
on.
much beard, too much hair,
Yeah.
too much this stuff, too much
skin,
Yeah.
too much body,
but also
too
short.
much.
So not too
But
much
short,
height.
yeah.
Short. Yeah.
Overcompensating
Same.
for sure.
Which is interesting because he probably literally like is
Wouldn't look like that.
He's
at
probably
all,
looks
according
beautiful.
to-
He's
Yeah,
probably a
like,
beautiful
according-
human. Or
Yeah.
beautiful fae, whatever, not human.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
exactly. But no, nonetheless, because it's what's in the inside that counts. So if you're ugly in the inside, that's what you look like.
Yeah. Unless you're
Too
a villain
much.
who we like, and then it's fine.
Yeah. You know, again, we just make up our own rules over here. Okay. Play by our own rule book.
Oh, well,
There
I
we
feel like
go.
that was a good installment. Please let us know. Maybe we'll do a little poll too, just to see, like, do you guys like the deep dives? Do you like more of the, our reactions? Like, if you're here, you probably read it. So, I feel like I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And A Court of Frost and Starlight coming your way soon.
We had a good time. So
We had a good
whatever.
time. That's all that matters. I'm just kidding. Screw you guys. I'm just kidding.
No.
So, yeah, so A Court of Frost and Starlight, there won't be as big of a gap this time because now, we're able to kind of move through them a little bit quicker, which is exciting. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. So thank you for being here.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. Yes, please let us know. We'll put those polls up in our story in the next few days after this episode airs on Instagram at Besties Books Podcast. You can let us know, do you like the deep dives, full down breakdown, chapter by chapter, essentially, or do you like this more reactionary style thoughts and opinions on the book, because we still covered a lot. So let us know over there, and then make sure you subscribe, like, and follow anywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcasts. If you would like to leave us a review, that would mean so much to us.
So much!
Because it helps us out a lot, and we're going to be starting to read some of those reviews now that they're stacking. So thank you guys for taking time out of your day to also review us. I appreciate it so much.
It means a lot.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
And one more Friday.
One more Friday.
For the Harry Potter movie reactions and overall recap before we go into our next.
Finale.
All right.
Bye, guys.